Probably want to go this way. Probably don't want 2 stores. And probably get through this elite. Okay. Especially with that bash upgrade. Let's get us started. Hey, Nesca. The bot still says the backseating sucks. Well, it does. I mean, that's still true. Thanks, Fizzy lifting. Turtling herd, he squeaks. I'm glad you were enjoying the over-explained run, Nazca. Mislav, hello. Asher Mage, thanks for 3 months. Songboom will show to you as well. Anthony, hello. Don't do joke backseating, you're like ruining it. There are so many people who desperately want to seriously backseat the stream and you're just here joking about it. Come on. This is serious for some people. Senator P. Cracklin links the 8 months. Hope will show to you as well. What does backseating mean in this context? It means you can suggest lines of play. The people who are doing it as a joke are sort of like ruining it for everybody. Why would you do this? I mean, I understand why you would do this. Like, already though, like a minute into the run, 20 people made that joke, though it might not be funny anymore. Should we go 26 damage here? It's like never right. Do it anyway. Hey, Sam Hall. Zip Fluber. Hello. I think we probably just potion here for 7 health. Hey, St. Germain. The Coltrane, hello. Hey, Idols and Anchors, and Eoxeration. And Readable Name, and Meow the Meowmer. And Burifix, and Humph. Ironclad can make up 26 damage, maybe. Going into an elite fight pretty soon, but maybe. Hey, Acid Vega. Hey, Mituat. Shumba Wumba, thanks for the 3 months. Agbomusho to you as well. Kraken, thanks for the 6 months. Agbomusho to you too. What do I think about a note for yourself being in Ascension 15+? My answer to like all of these things is I like the game as it is and don't have opinions about things being different really. It is difficult for me to have opinions about things being different without like people taking them way more seriously than they need to be, and I think the game is in general good, so I mostly just don't think about that stuff at all. It's just no fun when I say like, oh, I don't really like this thing about the game, and then there's like a thread on Reddit where someone like writes 3 paragraphs about how Jorbs is someone who doesn't like this thing about the game and like psychoanalyzes me and shit. It's just like, I'd just rather say I like the game at this point. Have successfully crushed all of my creative spirit and hope. Well done, everybody. Hey, Leopardly, hey, Alex Cleon and Johnny Combo. Bash, hello. Hey, Dual HH and Yasser Blue. Hey, Wilry. Cargumelos, hello. Hey, Shellcat. Do I feel like I have a bias to certain archetypes for decks? You say this as you realize there are cards combos you have never tried or taken. I mean, I think that certain things are most likely to win the run, and then I my decisions are based on those beliefs. Crimson Maximus, thanks for the 2 months. Ogbo Musho to you as well. Jorbs hates Reddit. I don't know. I don't know. The real skill is not read Reddit. Yeah, I mean, this stream grew from my enjoyment of Slay the Spire, and I really liked chatting with people on Reddit and talking about stuff and all that, and now I don't go to the Slay the Spire subreddit anymore, because if I do, there's a decent chance that somebody has written 3 paragraphs about me in some random thread. And it's like really fucking weird. I don't know. Aggressive potion use because I took 26 damage. Are you talking about using the explosive pod earlier? Or using the power potion and sentries? Power potion and sentries is just like barely correct, I think. I don't think that's aggressive in any way. And Jinfizz's Thirst subreddit. That would be significantly less weird for me. I have not found that. Is that out there for me to find? I think the interesting decision in this store ends up being between the upgrade pod and Shrug It Off, probably. People are allowed to say shit and not get timed out at the moment, Estrabelier. We're having a like a festival of bad decisions. I feel like sometimes society needs that. We just get all of our bad behavior out in a setting where it's encouraged and allowed, and then tomorrow we go back to normal. Time Frisbee. Is it gonna duck GG? Hello. Asteria, say monkey dump foot Luffy. What if chat is better this way? So far it's not, but maybe we can turn it around. I don't know. EMQPG. Is Prismatic Shard an obligatory pickup? No, I'm trying to win. Which means it's like an obligatory skip, actually. Carnage is always so interesting. Like, you get to a point where you have enough 2-cost attacks that it's hard to actually play Carnage unless you get 4 energy, and then, like, you have to think about, can I ever win a run where I'm on 3 energy in Act 2 anyway? And in this deck, we do have a Combust and a Self-Forming Clay, so the answer is like maybe, so maybe you don't want a Carnage, but if you do get a 4th energy, Carnage is just a really nice thing to have. Mr. Goebel, Barrick, thanks for the 15 months. Sangbamusho to you as well. Scoured by Flames. We've got another Sentries fight. We have a Combust in our deck. We've got a Self-Forming Clay. I would have preferred not to fight the fight, but if we're gonna fight the fight, we'll fight the fight, you know? Should be okay. harder to strictly backseat because you're interested in discussion of possible choices. Eh. E7. So I think we defend here. Why not play Ascension 1 for easier heart kills? Because it'll be disgustingly boring and unenjoyable. But other than that, it's a good idea. That's probably correct. GDP El Grio, yep. Thanks, Clamsy. Junebird, hello. Hey, Raid. You think Jorbs' attitude towards answering Googleable chat questions makes him a bit of a jerk? What is my attitude toward answering Googleable chat questions? In your opinion? I think we go Hemokinesis. But maybe we don't. It's really good with Red Skull and self-forming clay, it feels like. Anderson, thanks for the 2 months. Sagbomo show to you as well. Should end up being okay. Yeah, calling Jorbs a jerk is not like it's not backseating. Hey, Gambler. Backseating allowed, meaning I want us to troll, I want to read serious suggestions. It means what it says it means, like, it's okay to be like, hey, it would have been good to play Combust there, I think, or whatever. Merlin. Can I actually tell the difference between chat trolling and chat making serious suggestions anyway? Sometimes. This channel is a very odd channel because it's a channel that was built around playing Slay the Spire at a like very high level, and then it grew to a point where it is the channel that is recommended to people who are completely new to Slay the Spire. And so it's not really like we get asked whether Blasphemy can be cleansed by orange pellets literally like 3 to 5 times every watcher run, like over the course of over the course of the hour and a half. And like people do get to choose to ask that question. Like you could choose not to ask that question and like find it out in some other way. But there are a huge number of people who come to this channel with the belief that it is the thing to use instead of Google or whatever to find out how to play this game. And I haven't really tried very hard to give that impression to anybody, nor do I particularly want anybody to have that impression. So it's just sort of like weird. It's weird to work out how to like handle that. Hey, Sable Tip. That means more viewership. Does it? Does it mean more viewership? Like, historically, that has, like, caused me to stop streaming for lengths of time. which generally doesn't do super well for my income or mental health or the channel or anything else. How do you Google the answer for the blasphemy question? Well, that's the other thing, is this game doesn't have a great wiki. It doesn't have a super great subreddit in terms of new player advice, and it's a very complicated game. Draco Fizz, thanks for the 18 months of Musho to you as well. And so it's like somewhat understandable that lacking a better resource for learning the like intricate interactions that go on in this game, people would just like ask me, you know, 5 times per hour long watch your run the same question. It's sort of understandable why people would do that, but I think if you think about it for like more than 15 seconds, you start to recognize that this is also like somewhat problematic behavior and maybe doesn't have to be what people do. Any insight on handling mental health stress as a streamer? I mean, I have a therapist I talk to every week. It's it can be a tough job, but it's still like I'm a human being, and a lot of the things are pretty comparable to what other human beings have to deal with, I think. If you have to leave the Twitch app to Google it, you're not inclined to come back. You don't care that much about the answer, but just asking in general, the chat, someone who might know. Yeah, and like, it's very hard for me to accommodate that because I'm using the chat to like, you know, talk to a bunch of people who have been, you know, saying hi to me and watching my channel for the last like 3 years sometimes. And part of our day is like, you know, saying hi to each other, checking in. And there's only one chat room to do that. So if you're gonna come in here and like use our chat room to do that in, to ask whether the blasphemy debuff is cleansed by orange pellets, like, cool, I guess, but there's only the one chat room at the moment. Can I make a second chat room? I sort of have to monitor my chat for my channel. I feel like I wouldn't be super comfortable having a chat room that I just didn't read. Maybe there's a point at which I end up doing that, but it feels a bit uncomfortable to do right now. Strike before defend would have saved 2 health. Maybe, I don't know. Don't know if you're maybe missing self-forming clay. I should make a backseating chat room that I never look at. Yeah, I mean, for me to provide something to my viewers, I want to like provide it well and make sure that there's a sensible expectation of it being provided, and also that providing it leads to my community becoming better. And I think that providing a channel for people to like talk about shit that I don't really want this channel to be about is the exact opposite of that, basically. Have I heard the saying of something being referred to as "what has that got to do with the price of beans in China"? No, I have not. Hey, Tiamata. Yeah, Alex Leon, absolutely. But when you wrote that sentence, like, part of my job is to read the chat, so I read that sentence. It took me, like, you know, a second or so, maybe, of my time. Catfish Bobo, hello. I am Grum, hello. Interdine Rukenhat. You watched the entire upload series yesterday. You enjoy it? I watched the first, like, 2 or 3 episodes and then fell asleep, basically. If I didn't have Red Skull, would I still have taken Feed over Reaper? Yeah, I, like, pretty much always take Feed here, I think. It's pretty hard to imagine a world where I take Reaper over Feed here. SBR. There are a forum outside Twitch chat. I prefer to interact with fans. Yeah, we have a Discord. I'm also on Twitter. Inaja. Mexi Fries, hello. To help stop repetitive questions, just make asking a question a bannable offense easy. I mean, it's actually in the rules of the channel. Like, don't ask questions that are in the FAQ. We don't enforce that with bans, but at some point maybe it would make the channel better to do that. Hey Matt Theodore, hey Sessions. Guitar, hello. I don't know what this stuff in China thing is. Someone just asked me the question and then I lost track of the conversation, I think. It's a quandary. I bet something like Stack Exchange for Slay the Spire would be great, yeah. Hey Daltor Chibatadas, WeCat, hello. Hey Ratbout, hey Jiaotao, hey Captain Falcon. Hey Mr. Potato So. Oh, you're welcome, See-Through Shifu. Yeah, I try to be. I try to be. I only have so much, like, energy for being asked the same questions every day without placing any blame on anybody or anything like that at all. It's just, like, not what I wanted to do as a job when I started streaming. And so while I appreciate that people need that of me sometimes, it, like, makes me want to stop streaming after a few hours if I'm doing it a lot. So I try. I do try. But it's like, there are so many more interesting things to do as a streamer than answer the same question. Hey, fish sandwiches. In honor of International Workers' Day, backseating is allowed. Fair enough. Wasn't planned, but maybe it worked out that way. Hey, Kuro. Dathal, hey Notorious RG, Cooking Calamity, thanks for the 8 months. Sagbamusho to you as well. Hey DML, hey Necrolite Reaper, hey Anon, hey Hawkman. Ruben, hello. Hey Impel Malt? I think that says Malt. I can't quite read your like font color against my background. The real annoying thing would be people having an expectation to receive a response. Well, if you ask the question and I'm trying to read the chat, it doesn't really matter that much. It's really irritating if you ask the question 3 times. That's really irritating. But yeah. Hey, Atomic. You see, hello. Mr. City, hello. Hey, not as bad as Frankenstein. Hey Ken, hello. Am I talking about my thought process with the relics here? They all suck. I don't want to pick on any of them. Tumalu, hello. Hey Dating TV. Ivy Blade, hello. Make Techies great again. Thanks for the Twitch Prime sub. Agbamusho to you too. Hey the Darkest, hey Ukamaster. Why not compile a game-related FAQ to answer those questions? Well, it's a lot of work and nobody would read it. Hey Don Bomb. Alliant, hello. Hey Zackles. Kickfurk, hello. Hey Dreamy Pants. Hey Minjagus. Hey Wax Papers. Hey Freudrick. Die, hello. Hey Sam. Hey Paul. Let's keep it English only, yeah. Just because I need to be able to read the language in the chat. Imaginary friend, hello. He's a tunny. I think we have to take Mark of Pain. I think that the drawback's slightly less bad than the drawback on Runic Dome. Especially for like my enjoyment of life. Terrible casserole. Either of the energy relics are like pickable but unpleasant there though, I think. Hey Farnix. Hey Garganega. One of the first things you do when clicking on a new stream is read the FAQ. We appreciate that greatly. You're reading about the Dunning-Kruger effect. You wonder if I am an expert at Slay the Spire, what is something I know I am really bad at? Can you like ask that question again in a way that rephrases what you're asking me to say exactly? Because I'm not sure what exactly. Are you asking like, am I bad at something in particular in Slay the Spire, or are you asking, am I bad at something like else in the world? Or I'm just not quite sure what you're asking. Bad at understanding chat's question. Rip. Okay. Hey, BB Tech. First thing you do when you follow a stream is lurk for 40 to 50 hours, then maybe you start saying hi. Fair. I know a lot of streamers at this point, so... Also, I am a streamer. I generally feel like I know what sorts of things you can say that are going to like be positive and good in a channel, and what things you can say that depend on who the person is, and what things you should just never really say. And I try to act appropriately as a viewer. But like different people like different things, so if I'm in a new channel that I haven't been in before, I'm never going to like assume that I understand how to interact with that person. Hey Smurf, that sounds rough. Bob Green, hello, hey Unrecovered. Birch Peninsula, hello. Hey J Skiff, hey Iron Chef USA, yeah. How's my day? Oof. Oh my god. It's so easy to find things which are upsetting, like on Twitter. That's my opinion about how my day is going so far. I'm gonna take a power through and I'm gonna hope that I get an evolve in this run, because if I don't, like, we're in some pretty rough shit. I'm gonna get a double store because stores have evolves in them sometimes. I also have a smiling mask. Yeah, let's take an offering. You think I would enjoy Mob Psycho? I have trouble with animated storytelling in general. I find it hard to feel a ton of empathy with the characters because they are cartoons. Whereas when something has real life humans acting, it's much easier for me to like really get into their story or whatever. And it's just a me thing. Hey Cliff. You tend not to watch people acting because it feels fake outside of really good acting. Yeah, but sometimes there's really good acting. and those are the shows that I enjoy watching, right? I just watched Counterpart, and I felt like the acting in Counterpart was so good. Counterpart was a very compelling show for me. I have a theater background, not really. I have like some pretty good friends who got theater degrees, but I didn't theater myself. I seen Better Call Saul. I got a little bit. I felt like it dragged a lot in the most recent season. The actress who plays Kim Wexler does like the most incredible job ever. I think she carries the show really hard, but the rest of it I'm not that into. Hey Ahmed, of course. Of course. Elohim the One, thanks for the 4 months. Agba show to you as well. It wasn't exactly what I was saying, Analog Heart. I think that there are people who can watch an animated story of whatever version, whether it's anime or whatever else, and get really into it. And I think I'm just like historically not really one of those people. And watched the first season of Fargo. Did I? I might have tried at some point. I've definitely seen the movie, which I know is a different thing. So I'm wondering if like just remembering the movie is the thing that's making me think I've watched it already. I don't know. Can you backseat my choices about allowing you to backseat? Sure, do whatever you want. Anime gives you feels like literally nothing else. Yeah, and like I'm the person who loses out on this, right? I'm not saying like anime is bad or anything. I wish that I could watch anime and get really into it because that would like make my life richer. It would be another thing that I could enjoy. But even having tried, I've never really gotten into anything. 22 plus 7 is not enough. Hey, meep meep. You wish that you liked football, but nope, can't get into the fantasy football stuff. Sure, similar. Poppers is having a yap outside, isn't it? That's a yappy Poppers. Well, Exhume gets back an offering and a feed. Sure. Is that my pupper? No, I just have the window open. You can just hear what outside sounds like. I find that uncomfortable too. What is outside exactly? I don't know. But I guess it's out there. Hey, Osama bin Techies. Hey, Rainbow Trout. It's going alright. I feel like I'm invading these people's privacy now. Because, like, they're being very loud outside my place where I live. And now people can, like, hear them. Oh no. I don't think I Exhume Offering. It puts 2 dazes in my deck, so it draws 3 cards, but it, like, hits me for 6, and then all of a sudden there are a bunch of dazes. Seems like overall it's not that great a deal. Going Exhume here and just not killing the bird is pretty fucking intense. We're taking 34 is incoming, +1, 35, so it would go to like... I would only play 1 defend, I guess. But we do get to rest shortly afterward. Maybe we rest twice. It doesn't seem like it's right. I think it's better to kill the bird and just get the feed on the Chosen and have much higher current HP. I don't think I want to... Yeah, I don't think I want to lose a 1 in 6 chance of feeding to save 4 current HP though. There's the evolve that we wanted. Could also have gone Whirlwind with Akabeko, can be a pretty fun one. Intis. It doesn't seem like chat is all that different with backseating allowed. Well, yeah, most people in the channel don't really want to backseat. Mostly the people who backseat are like people who have left in the last few months because I started being very clear that I didn't want that, or they're like brand new viewers who don't realize that we don't really do that here. Hey, Yum Nachos. Hey, Doublethink. So we could rest and take an elite. We could upgrade. Like, Evolve's a good upgrade. Feed is an okay upgrade, and Flame is an okay upgrade. Go to a question mark, a campfire, a hallway, a campfire, and then a champ fight. Will be doing any more Griftlands later? Maybe. Ifidyan. My name is London. Nico, hello. Hey, Verkuz. 7-Day Wonder, hello. Backseating is just unpleasant for me. Well, I mean, the reason I said we could backseat today was I was going to, like, legitimately make an effort to, like, answer people's backseating stuff and think about the things you suggested and things. I was going to try it out one time. I'm asking you... I'm saying it's okay to do this right now. You can believe the thing I am saying. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Hey, I won't. Lady and Kating, hello. Hey, Silila Kaiser. Monk Fever, hello. Tycorn, hello. Backseating is also very context dependent. People get the urge when Jorbs is making a choice that does not seem all that great, or when it seems like he's forgetting something, but that choice is usually the better one. That's a huge thing. It's very difficult to be someone who plays a game in a way that's better than how most people play it, which is somewhat unique, and have a bunch of people watching you and telling you how you should play. Like, it's incredibly difficult in a setting where you have like hundreds of people who think that there's a correct way to play a game, watch you play it. It's incredibly difficult to get better at the game. Because the ways that you're going to get better at the game are largely going to be to do things that aren't so obvious. And then you have this huge wall of resistance, like anytime you're going to try to do something obvious. Like back in Ascension 15 days, I remember anytime I didn't buy kunai at a store, like there were multiple people in my chat who wanted to write at least comments, if not paragraphs, about how incorrect I was. And it just makes it more difficult to become a better player of the game when anytime you try to get to the next level, there are people who are at the current level who are telling you that your experimentation is wrong, or your new attempt doesn't make sense or whatever. It shouldn't do Bart. Thanks for Twitch Prime. Ogbomo show to you as well. Is there a world where power through is the upgrade since we don't have much block in the deck? We don't have much scaling either. We had like a demon form. Well, probably just upgrade the demon form. But if we had a demon form plus somehow, or a limit break plus, in that situation I could see power through being an upgrade. Although I might just go for evolve. Like, block doesn't help us beat champ unless it makes it so we can scale for longer before we die, but if we don't have any scaling anyway, it doesn't really do anything. Healing Gorono. Alex Harper, hello. Yeah, Eggy McPherson. Watched a stream last night with torrential backseating that the streamer wasn't ready for and was already on tilt. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing, right? Hey, Trail. You can't get rid of backseating, it is in human nature. I actually can. I can get rid of things which are in human nature in my community by banning people who do those things. Pretty cool. Gayuz, hello. What did I become famous for? Am I famous? I don't know. What is the thing that made you say that I was famous? I guess it would be that. Bender, hello. Hey, Shadow Qua. Permy, hello. Hey, Private Ryan. Hey, Roos. Moomalon, hello. Let's just go with Evolve. Evolve makes power through better in a, like, an indirect way. Oh, we get an arena. If we can survive this, it ends up probably being better than an elite. $32 plus 21. Sure. Hermie thanks for 5 months. VNP Hayes thanks for 4 months. Agbomo show to you both. Am I better known in poker or Twitch? I was never like a personality in poker. People, like, there are personalities in poker, and so a lot of people assume that if you are a good poker player, you are a personality. But poker is also, like, it's sort of like someone telling you that they are a judge and you being like, oh, were you as well known as Judge Judy? And like, that's not quite what being a, like, established judge is, right? Like, that's a different thing. So yeah, playing feed would have been better. Eh. What is a personality poker player? I think most people who follow poker in any way have probably heard of Daniel Negreanu, right? Daniel Negreanu has not been one of the top poker players in the world for like more than 10 years. He's like pretty decent, but it has been a long time since he was like competing in the hardest games sort of things. But he's synonymous with poker because when he was very good, he like made a bunch of deals with brands where he represented them and stuff like that. I'm not trying to shit on Daniel Negreanu here either, by the way. Like, he's had a significantly more impressive poker career than I ever did results-wise as well. It's just like, nowadays, people still care a huge amount about Daniel Negreanu, but he's not one of the leading players in the world in terms of like actual mechanical play. We can go Havoc, we can go to max HP. Sentinel doesn't get exhausted by anything in our deck, so it's not that good right now. But Havoc and Headbutt's okay, especially with Evolve drawing us extra cards. It would be a way to exhaust our deck down to... I don't know what. Don't really know what. Who are some of the big names who are still leading players right now in poker? Well, yeah, like, part of the point here is that I don't know the names of a lot of the people who are leading players in poker right now. That's part of the point. Phil Galfond is, like, very publicly playing at the highest levels still. Phil Galfond a poker personality or top 10 or both? Both. Phil's definitely the full package at the moment. Do I have a special streamer version of Twitch chat? Yeah, I filter out commands. And I also have some words muted for like questions that I get so much that I just decided it was time to mute that word for my chat so that I could run my show. We're gonna have to, like, kill champ with value, and we should probably be able to do that with angers. Hey, Dark Side of the Rainbow, sorry you're not feeling great today. Guess I meant to play Evolve before offering there, since I have a Mark of Pain. Part of it too is like, once you are a person who is being paid millions of dollars in appearance fees and stuff, like, what's the point of working incredibly hard to be one of the best poker players? Like, it's not necessarily that Daniel Negreanu isn't one of the best poker players in the world anymore because he isn't trying hard. It's like, well, he has a bunch of other commitments and stuff and things that make more sense for him to dedicate a bunch of energy to. Could have taken Heavy Blade, but I thought if I couldn't upgrade it anyway, it wasn't going to be that good for this fight. It's not necessarily good later either. We might still end up being like a corruption feel no pain thing. We'll have some strength, I guess, either way. Generally, while I'm streaming Slay the Spire is a really, really, really bad time to ask me for impressions about a different game that I'm not playing at the moment. Like, you could ask on the Discord or something like that. Usually if you like go to the places where it's sensible to ask me that stuff, you'll find that there's already some stuff that I've said. I guess that applies to esports streamers. Certainly I like don't spend all of my energy on trying to compete to be the best at what I do in terms of the gameplay, because a huge amount of my job is running an entertainment broadcast for a bunch of people. So yes, I think that's true. Hey DJ McMahon, hey Dvorak. Is there enough value in my deck to hit for 220 in 2 turns? So like, one answer is yes, I'm pretty sure there is. Another answer is we'll find out soon. Like, I don't think there was really a point where I could do something to change what my deck does recently. So I haven't bothered running the simulations or whatever, and the game's really complicated. People keep asking Caleb why he won't go to GPs or SCG tourneys in Magic, and he always answers that he doesn't want to take days off of work, which is worth a lot more to him. Yep. Magic's fascinating. A large part of why Magic has been so successful is that they've been able to use their pro players as influencers, basically, for a very long time. This is my opinion, at least. And like when you run a tournament which gets a lot of like viewership online and stuff and has a bunch of people tuning in for Magic, you end up with, you know, a bunch of people who may have played Magic once in their life who tune in and think, oh, I want to play more Magic. Or maybe some people who like card games but didn't know that Magic existed tune in and they see this and they're like, whoa, Magic, I'm gonna try that out. And I think that Magic has like, it's an okay card game, but I think that why it's continued to do very well is that it's basically got a bunch of people publicizing it for free and has for the entirety of its life, and it's really hard for other games to get that. Like, you just that just doesn't really happen. Magic is to card games as D&D is to tabletop RPGs. Yeah, maybe. If I wasn't streaming, are there runs where I would concede rather than play out near unwinnable strings? No, not really. I like MTG Twitter, I think it's okay. Obviously, there are the less great parts, but that's just like what online communities are, right? It's too true. Hello. What Magic has going for it that other games don't is also its history and its massive amount of cards. You can play it any way you want. Yep, absolutely true. I should pick Streamline more often. Interesting. What are other trading card games that I play and enjoy? So I used to play Magic. I played Magic from like age 13 until 20 or something. Something-ish like that. I played it quite competitively. Other than that, like, I play Slay the Spire a lot. If I had other like deck builder / card games that I really enjoyed, you would see me streaming them probably. But Slay the Spire is sort of my jam. I don't like PvP games very much. I prefer single player games, and there aren't that many great single player card games in the world. Just have to work out if I want Juggernaut or Corruption more. I don't have that much energy worth of skills. I have like a power through and 4 defense. Makes me feel like Corruption's not that good, right? I could add more skills. I could also just take Impervious with 100 health. I might just take Impervious. Yeah. Why don't I like PvP games? I tweeted a good thread, I think, about like toxic competitiveness in poker. The guy talking about one of his experiences as a young poker player when he was a high school dropout who had no real achievements in his life, and he was sitting at a table with someone who was just playing absolutely atrociously, and it was very clear that he was playing absolutely atrociously. And he had a thing in his brain where he associated somebody's worth with how well they played poker, basically. So he was like thinking, oh my gosh, how does this person not like drown in the shower or whatever? And then the table went on break and they ended up sitting at a table in the cafeteria together having a meal. And the guy was like, I bet you're wondering why I'm playing so bad, huh? And he like, yeah, you know, he tried to be cagey about it, but failed. And the guy explained that he was like a leading astrophysicist at NASA, and this was his way to blow off steam. And then proceeded to talk about astronomy and astrophysics and like make poor poker player kids' brain fall out and melt. And that's there are just a lot of people in the poker community and in the Magic community when I was a teenager who get incredibly invested in whether they win or not, and it's a huge part of their self-worth and also a huge part of how much they value others. And it exhausted me for so long. I fell into the trap in my teens a little bit for sure, especially regarding myself. Like, I felt like I was only a worthwhile person if I was doing well in Magic or whatever. And I had a few of my own conversations with people over the course of my life, and eventually worked out like I didn't really want that. That wasn't actually important to me. And yeah, I've moved away from competitive games because I just feel like that thing is in a competitive games community a lot, and I very much dislike it. I just absolutely love collaborating with other people. I love learning with other people. I've even left like single player game communities because like things turned into arguments about like, no, your strategy is wrong, my strategy is right. And I like couldn't get away from it. And so I just had to like bounce from that game entirely. I just don't like that. And games are something that I try to use to bring myself joy and to, you know, improve my life. And so if I see that something in the community for a game is just making me less happy, I don't stick around. Guess I just play feed here, because I'm never going to get to feed, right? Thanks, Cassie. That stuff is why when you type stuff about win streaks in this channel, you get a bot response and I don't even read the command, by the way. Like, at the start of this year, that stuff was, like, just really unenjoyable to me. I don't know if people have, like, stopped talking about it now, because I, like, mute the conversation of it for myself, but holy shit, that was just not an enjoyable part of Slay the Spire for me. When I feel about MTG identities like Spike, Johnny, Timmy, I feel like they're like a marketing department came up with them, and people are more complicated than that. And so they feel sort of gross. I don't like when a marketing department decides what humans are and then humans like take them seriously. I like when a marketing department decides what humans are and then humans like are actually humans and the marketing department feels like an idiot. It's more my thing. So I should be able to get 2 feeds off, but not 3 feeds off here, I think. Yeah, Doc Sanchez. It's a very common thing for humans to do. You give them something to compete at, and then they feel like they're bad people if they're not good at the thing they're competing at. I think it takes like a level of like maturity and confidence for a lot of people to compete at something and be okay with not being the best. Different people are different though, like it's not going to be the same for everyone for sure. I'm glad you're enjoying it, Vane. I have to roll my eyes at things sometimes, like when I jump into Battlegrounds and like the most prominent feature in the interface as I join a game is a number that tries to tell me how good I am. Like, I don't know. Whose decision was that exactly? Thanks, Pip-Boy. People like numbers. I think some people like numbers. I think numbers like that are a huge turnoff to some people, and largely those people who get hugely turned off by those numbers aren't in the communities for those games anymore, because they're like aren't games which exist which offer the experience without having the numbers there. And it's like absolutely awful, because games should be something that lots of people enjoy together. Especially they should be something that people who have different experiences of the world get to enjoy together, because it's a way to like bring people together. And so it's just unfortunate that so many of these card games online have this like barrier to entry which has a competitive requirement. That's one of the beautiful things about Magic the Gathering, going back to that again, because somebody else brought it up, and like I think it was a really good point. Like Magic's something that a lot of people just play at the kitchen table with friends, and there aren't many games like it where you can even do that at the moment. I don't know if there's a game that's in both of those spaces in the way that Magic is. There are games which are in only the kitchen table space. Games like Dominion, for example, I would say is pretty much only in the kitchen table space. And there are games which are only in the competitive space. But there aren't many card games specifically that are in both. Yu-Gi-Oh! Was good for a while in both those spaces. That's cool. I never got into playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, I might be missing some. I like don't know everything about all of this stuff, for what it's worth. Just trying to do my best to say the things I'm thinking. Asian Sauce, thanks for the 20 months. I'm going to show to you as well. Rip Isotropic. Yeah, even for Dominion, like when I was a Dominion player, I was the sort of person who was in the top 20 on Isotropic, and that was important to me. And looking back at it, I'm like, wow, that really didn't need to be important to me probably. But at the time that was like a thing that was important to me. And there were so many other things going on in like my life and in the world that I could have been caring about instead. But that was the thing that I cared about. It's sort of crazy to look back at it and see that. I have an example for a game that is mainly pro gamers. wonder if Hearthstone is in both spaces. Hearthstone's weird because it's like a single player experience with opponents. Hearthstone like puzzles me. I don't quite understand it. How pay to win do I think Hearthstone is? A little bit? Arenas literally aren't, right? Like, Arena, you have to pay the entry fee, but once you've paid the entry fee, there's nothing else you can spend money on that makes you more likely to win. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think we don't get the max HP. I think we go Shrug over Dual Wield. Dual Wield's pretty strong here, though. We've got like the Inflame with Mummified Hand. We've got the Feel No Pain with Mummified Hand. We've got Feed. 108 health and a self-forming clay. We'll try this actually. Hey Cypher, thanks for the sub. Musho to you as well. Hearthstone is a casual game with friends that has a competitive scene forced upon it for marketing purposes despite the game not suiting it. I don't know, maybe it is. Pay to play technically implies pay to win. Sure. Yeah. But like, I don't know. It probably doesn't. I think they mean different things. I think it's pretty normal to have to pay to play a game. Like that's just, you know, you want entertainment and the people have worked very hard to make you something that's entertaining, so you pay so that they can keep doing that. Flicker, thanks for the 4 months. Musho to you as well. I remember being sad when they started locking good Hearthstone cards behind single player adventures. Did the single player adventures like cost money to do and stuff? I can understand why that would create a feeling of sadness. Makes sense to me. No longer have Exhume, unfortunately. I think we can get a feed off here. Feels like this deck has so much energy. You get duplicate protection on opening packs and stuff. That's like probably good, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. When I played Magic a lot, I had friends who played Magic too, and like we were all people who made money playing the game. Like when you play MTG Arena, there's no way to like make money, but when you played Magic Online, you entered tournaments with a currency that you could actually trade for dollars in the real world. And then you received prizes that you could actually trade for dollars in the real world. And so when I was playing Magic in my teens, like I was probably making I don't know, $5 to $10 an hour doing it. And a lot of the other people who were playing too were maybe not quite $5 to $10 an hour, more like $3 to $5 an hour probably. But a lot of the other people either had jobs and could afford to buy cards, or they were also in like my sort of position where they were playing a lot and making money, and so we could all get the cards that we needed. And if somebody didn't have a card, they could get it themselves, or they could ask someone to borrow it. And so the whole collecting aspect of all of these PvP card games that exist now is really bizarre to me. It's not something that I ever did for poker or for Magic. And yeah, it's a huge turnoff for getting into them, honestly. I like don't have any interest in it and don't find it enjoyable. Yeah, it's interesting that it's like very clear that you do not have to have card collection to make a good card game. See stuff like poker. But like every modern card game has card collection as one of the things. I guess it's not true that every single one does either. I did not play Yu-Gi-Oh! Imagine if you needed to collect a full deck for your poker game as a barrier of entry, but the dang King of Spades was only printed at a 1 out of 1,000 drop rate. Yep, that's how we make money. The flip side is that I raked about $60 an hour for most of my poker career. I probably paid about $200,000 to play poker. So, you know, I don't think many people have paid $200,000 to play Hearthstone. I hope that nobody has. But yeah, the people spreading the game have to make money out of it somehow, I guess. Need a battle trance, don't we? I just played online, Legiticus Maximus. Gacha games rely on a small subset of players paying on the order of $200,000. It's weird. Like, games do have to make money somehow to be games you can play. And it feels like it's hard to ask for enough money to like pay for what a game costs to make from consumers. It just feels like if you sit somebody who plays games down and say, hey, this like, you know, we have a huge studio and a bunch of people working on this game and everything, and we had to pay licensing for stuff and pay for the actors and stuff, and we need you to pay $100 to play this game. It feels like if you do that, the response is like going to be, no, fuck you, that's so expensive. And so then you get an industry where there are a bunch of like games which are free to play, which is what a game like that gets compared against, right? People are like, pay $100 to play your game. Fuck no, I can like play League of Legends for free or whatever. And League of Legends is making a bunch of money and like existing and succeeding because it has microtransactions, which are like at times a very predatory way to make money. At times they are a more predatory way to make money than asking someone to pay $100 to play your game, for sure. Wild Gripper, thanks for the 4 months. Hogba Musho to you as well. Another thing though is I feel like for a lot of these games, a lot of the extra stuff you're paying for isn't really like something that I as a gamer was asking for. Like, I didn't really need your AAA game to have incredible movies and voice acting from Sean Bean or whatever, you know? Like, I didn't actually really want that as a player. So it's weird. Like, maybe the studio is having to make a game that's so expensive because there's this conception of what a polished game looks like, which doesn't really match what a person who plays games needs. That's so fucking weird. That's the first time I've ever seen that, I think. So if Centennial Puzzle procs and draws you cards off Combust, you draw 3 cards and discard them. But if one of them was a status, you draw the 2 cards from the status after discarding the first 3 cards. I don't think there's any universe where that makes any sense. I was prior to finding this out, I was like, okay, that's just a weird thing about Centennial Puzzle, but now I'm like, that doesn't seem right. Yeah, we call those bugs where I'm from. An unintended feature. Watching that one dude present his seminar on whaling the mobile game market was one of the craziest things you had seen a couple of years back, that you became super conscious about spending money in small amounts, as anything above $20 was the only thing that would flag in your mind before. Oh, it's true. Who here has like gone through their recurring payments and been like, holy shit, I'm paying like $100 a month in like $5 increments to 20 different things I don't actually need? That has certainly been an experience that I have had in my life. Maybe it's a bad idea for me to draw attention to this as someone whose income is dependent on people doing that. Yeah, I hope that if you're subbed to the stream, it's because you want to be subbed to the stream and you wanna support me, and not because you like paid the $5 once and then just left it on recur. You can link that video, Septic. I think I've seen that but not watched all of it. Raymond, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Ogbomo show to you as well. LSO, thanks for the 2 months. Appreciate it. This is a pretty good store. I don't know what to buy in it. The Limit Break looks very tasty. The Waffle looks very tasty. Removing the curse in the deck seems very good. Maybe the curse isn't so bad. Maybe we just go Limit Break Waffle. We can still lose this run fairly easily, I think. It's rude. How good is Rupture there? I think we already have a Rupture. Yeah, we just took a Rupture. It's like okay. Our deck's just very slow and doesn't have a disarm. Thanks, Alka. Nice Traveler, thanks for gifting this up to H8. Does Rupture trigger on curses? If you lose health from pain, it triggers, yeah. That's what you're asking, basically, right? It doesn't trigger on Shame, because Shame doesn't deal us damage. But yes, on other curses it would. Hey, Khadgar. It does work if you exhaust them with Blue Candle. Yep, that's correct. I had takeaway for the first time yesterday since lockdown and got sick from it. It's interesting. There are things that I feel like I had because I was so used to having them. Like, fast food would be an example, like getting a burrito from Chipotle or whatever. I'm interested to see if I like go back to those habits after things all open up again. I guess I want to play Combust. Go like dual wield feed and then play Second Wind, maybe? Keeping dual wield seems okay. I don't think I want another Anger at the moment, though. Chipotle is technically a fast casual, not fast food. It's fast food. Not tricking me, Chipotle PR rep. What you doing in my channel? People define fast food specifically by speed or by quality of the food given a fast delivery speed. I don't know. People should do what they want. Hey, Chomsky Bombsky. Limit break in here, it's in here. I can go dual wield, Flash of Steel, headbutt dual wield, and then dual wield Flash of Steel again. This is rad. This is actually everything that I ever wanted from my life. Who doesn't want to just play Flash of Steel over and over again? Not by going infinite though, that's lame. Like, just playing 6 different ones. I will lose my sponsorship from Chipotle. That's okay. That's okay. One nice thing about your subscription to this channel is it allows me to like have honest opinions about things and say what I really believe. Like that Chipotle is fairly delicious, but also definitely fast food. Free Chipotle would be nice too. Yeah, I mean, you know, my integrity or free Chipotle. It's close. There are pros and cons to either, is all I'm saying. I should probably have dual wielded more Flash of Steels. Whoops. I think I just didn't have enough energy. All lemky. Can you see cat having food? The cat food. The cats have like connectivity thing with treats in it, if they can work out how to get them out. Because if they have no food available for them, they just complain all the time. But if they have easy food available to them, they get incredibly fat. So this was our happy medium. And somehow it has ended up in my office. Nice. Did I really just... I should probably have triggered the shame, not the combust. Let's... Let's take a step back here. That seems like the wrong one. I think I just put a wound on top. Do I want dual wield in my deck? Not really. It's only good if I draw it with Flash of Steel, I think. Midnight Kira, thanks for the 5 months. Bomo show to you as well. A lot of options here. Am I doing okay? Yeah, I'm alright. Doing alright. Get Offering back, get Impervious back. Let's go for Offering. 16 gold ergo sum. It's very, very... Yeah. It's lovely to be able to just be bad at something. And I think that it's important to be able to just be bad at things in your life, and that games are one of the most sensible places to get that. This is my opinion. You definitely messed it up. You decided to be good at games and bad at self-care. This, yeah, that might be backwards. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. But, yeah. Am I referring more to the ability to keep doing things despite being bad at them, or to accept the fact that you are bad at them? I think being able to enjoy things, even if they're not things that you're incredibly good at, is very important. Because there are so many cool things in the world, and you're not going to be that great at all of them. Like, if you're not great at music or something, that doesn't mean that you can never enjoy sitting down and hitting keys on a piano in any way. You don't have to become a concert pianist for that to be fun for you, right? And I think people are generally largely good at that with music, but I bet there are a lot of people who have never tried playing an instrument because they thought that they were bad at it the first time that they ever had exposure to it or something like that, or they see other people do it and think I could never do that, and that's like too bad. And, you know, because maybe they could enjoy playing an instrument even if they never got that great at it, if they just gave it a try. You know, like, if you can't make a living off something, it's not worth doing. Oh no. Oh no. Not like this. Wait. I have Centennial Puzzle. I'm obviously not, like, playing perfectly at the moment. I think it's safe to safe to recognize that. We do have an Evolve Plus in play, so this turn with 2 burns is going to be pretty decent compared to what it could have been. One down. Let's throw this wound on top. Maybe I should have not done that quite like I did. Good though. Ish, maybe? I don't know. What's going on? I grab a Warcry. Play this, draw some cards. Taking 3 is not so bad. There's definitely a difference between being good at something and being good at making money off something, yeah. Also, a lot of the time, like, it's less fun to do something if it's your job, sort of thing. Didn't I have another feed or something? No? Okay. We don't do fuck, marry, kill on this channel, PK Hacksaws, because In Control retired that joke. Nobody's ever gonna do that joke as well as In Control did, and yeah, it's just, we can just let it rest. You can only be an expert at something after 10,000 hours. Yeah, I read that book. That's like, I don't think that's how it works, but certainly read that book. I think we wait on the power potion until we have dual wield in play, probably. Or in hand, rather. Just fine so far. Hey Peter, how you doing? Enjoyed the final round of the Magnus Invitational. Just want to clear some hand space. I want to draw my dual wield. It's taking a long time. Could draw any card. Maybe a True Grit's good. Probably a True Grit's alright. I don't think I play an Anger in my Limit Break deck at the moment. Is this a stream where we intend to lose as many times as possible? It wasn't. But maybe it could be for you. I exhausted a wound over a burn, did I? I don't think it matters that much. But yeah, that does seem like it would be worse. Wait, did I exhaust that wound? Didn't I exhaust like a strike or something? Apparently I wasn't paying attention. But like, statuses are good in this deck at the moment. Yeah, it defends way worse than burn is. Way worse. Can you ask me to smile more if you would like to be banned, not just from this channel, but also like from, like, I think that's like a cancellation sort of level offense. I will probably send a screenshot of that to your mother. And depending on your family life, that could go a few different ways for you, I guess. I hit you for 152 with anger. Yeah. This run was sweet. It was pretty cozy. This run was like... max HP is really good. If you have a bunch of max HP, like... as long as the rest of your deck does something, you win. I think was the basic idea of this run. Didn't have a ton of the best Ironclad cards, but... had some mishmash of stuff that dealt some damage. Limit Break Plus for 80 gold was pretty key. Yeah, I don't know how much longer we would have lived for. Probably not that much longer, huh? But if we weren't playing Limit Break, we could have been like playing a bunch of Angers with 10 strength against a vulnerable heart, and then we probably would have gotten there anyway. Pretty sure. We had Combust and Rupture as well. We had like a decent amount of strength that wasn't tied up in that one Limit Break.